What's going on, people? This is Crazy D.
Tracy.
And you know, we are the film review.
Right.
Movies, music, culture, and whatever else comes to our minds. We are the husband and wife team. And do we have a great review for you today?
Yep.
That's right. Two great movies. Well, one great movie and one
great album.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about both. Right. Of course, the first is... Let me adjust the lights a little bit here to get what I'm looking at. I think that looks pretty good right there. Yes, sir. The first is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
And the album is the new Ice Cube album entitled Everything's Corrupt. That's right. Everything is corrupt. So we're going to start with the Spider-Verse. I'm going to be connecting some people in real quick.
Yeah, let's start with the cast.
Yeah. Start with the cast of the Spider-Verse, and then we're going to get into the plot and everything. Okay. So tell them who's in the film. The voice talent.
The voices were done by the star, Miles Morales, was played by Shameik Moore. Jake Johnson was also one of the other Spider-Man from the alternate universe. Mm-hmm. And there were 6 of them, right? But the main Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the Spider-Man we went to the movies to see, was played by Shameik Moore. Hallie Steinfeld also played Spider-Woman. Liv Schreiber played Kingpin. Mahershala Ali played the Ultimate Prowler. He, I don't want to get a movie away. I'm not going to say nothing else. But he plays the Ultimate Prowler. Brian Tyree Henry plays Jefferson Davis, Miles Morales' father. We know Tyree from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Nicolas Cage plays Spider-Man Noir. Lily Tomlin plays Aunt May. Honey May. Uh-huh. Lauren Velez plays Rio Morales, Miles' mother. John Mulaney plays Spider-Ham, one of the 6 Spider-Man. Kimiko Glenn plays Penny Parker. She was also a Spider-Woman. I liked her character. It was cute. Melanie Haynes also plays the logic teacher. She was one of the villains. Excellent. It was an excellent film. I mean, you forget that you're watching a cartoon. It's so good.
It's true.
Excellent. Well done. It was so well done that at the end of the film, now mind you, we saw it like late last night. An all adult audience, no kids, packed theater, huge applause at the end of the film. Excellent, well done. Did a really great job.
Now, Shameik Moore, you would know him from the movie Dope.
Right, and the Get Down.
The Get Down. That's right. He's the aspiring DJ that is being groomed by Grandmaster Flash.
Right.
The character of Grandmaster Flash.
Right.
So that's where you would know him from.
Right.
So let's go through the plot of the movie, which I'm connecting pages here, so pardon me here real quick. While we do that, y'all just come on in and start tuning in to what we're doing here.
Well, while you're doing that, I just want to add, the Spider-Verse is really, really, really worth seeing. I mean, really good film. Really good. Like, well written. I mean, you can take a teenager if you have a teenager. Or I would say, elementary school? What age you think? Like maybe
I was
6 and up.
A 6-year-old.
But then my nephew,
maybe younger.
Yeah, like my nephew is what? He's 3, and he would actually sit through the whole film and enjoy it. He loves Spider-Man. So.
Yeah, absolutely. He would sit through the whole film and enjoy this.
But the thing about it is, like, just like all of these other cartoons, mostly with adult humor. So adults really, really, really like so-called cartoons. But like I said, you forget you're watching animation.
You do forget that. Yeah,
and the graphics was well done. We saw it in 3D.
Oh yeah, the 3D.
Was amazing.
We're gonna get into all that. I just have to connect these pages. We're doing something so that we can get so people will know exactly when we are there. Instead of just watching the replay, we want you to come in and be interactive with us while we're doing it. So that's what we're doing.
I'm looking forward to seeing another Spider-Verse or Spider-Man starring Miles Morales. Just a great job. The music was great. The music was so good. Like after the film, we went on Tidal just to see who did what song.
That's right.
So they did an excellent job with the music. It was nice.
Okay. First of all, we are live.
Right.
Again, this is the film review. We're the husband and wife team, and we're going to be reviewing the Spider-Man
Into the
Spider-Verse movie, and also Ice Cube's Everything's Corrupt.
Right.
All right. So let's start with we went through the cast, and so the story is about a young man who is going through the next stage in life, moving from one school to the next.
Right.
He's trying to find himself as a young man, and him and his father and himself do not necessarily see eye to eye.
Right.
Necessarily.
But you definitely can tell they love each other.
They most definitely.
And that they're close.
Mm-hmm. And so we open up and we see this conflict slightly, and then we start to slowly be introduced to who he is as a character. He's a very intelligent person. Anyone who knows the stories of New York City, the most intelligent children, the ones who test high, who have a high aptitude, often are moved from out of what you would call regular school and through testing and put into schools where their academic achievements can thus flourish them and move them along into bigger and greater things. So it's not something where if you're talented, they're going to try to hold you back. They want the brightest and the best, and sometimes that takes you away from your neighborhood and may put you on a situation where you're staying away from home and on campus like a boarding school. And this is what we see with Morales, right? This is what we see, and he really doesn't want to do that. He would rather, he has a talent, and he would rather explore that talent with his uncle than do anything else. And this is where it is. And then so he's drawn in, and he needs to break away, and so he finds himself over his uncle's house, and that's really where the initiating event happens. And
great relationship with his uncle.
His uncle
really
was like the person who wasn't necessarily he didn't use his talents to the best of his ability, and his Morales' father is upset with him because he didn't do that, but he still has love for his brother, but he wants better for his son, so he wants him to stay away from the uncle. But he finds himself over the uncle, and then they go and they do an activity, and that's where the initiating event happens, and it follows. Now, what's so beautiful about the film is all of the Spider-Man tropes are there. If anyone who knows the Peter Parker story, it's Peter Parker. He's bit by a radioactive spider. It was infected at a chemical plant, and somehow it comes down, bites him. Sometimes it's in it's in a history museum.
Right.
Other times he's someplace else in a laboratory and it bites him, and he then becomes to exhibit the strength of a spider, the ability to scale walls without need of any apparatus. And then from there he learns to develop and hone his skill. No different here, except for how it's developed. There's a madman on the loose who has a dramatic need of his own.
Yeah.
You find out what his dramatic need is later in the film, because it's really not about him. They leave the audience blind to the fact of why he's doing what he's doing.
And then you have just a tidbit of sympathy for him, but then it flies out.
It flies out the way.
Right.
And so there's a machine that causes different universes to collide. And this is where you're introduced to the various Spider-Men, and that's where the story, the initiating event happens, and then the dramatic need then happens as you are introduced to these different universes coming. And that's why Into the Spider-Verse is what it is, and you're introduced to the various spider characters, Spider-Men in their own time, in their own dimensions, in their universes. And that's what it is. And so his story is no different, but his story though plays out amongst the other spider people that are introduced within the film. The film is well written, like my wife said. The pacing on the film is just A1. The use of the black experience within the film. It was nice. I mean, just incredible. The culture. The culture, the music, the soundtrack, people. Right. The style. I mean, even Miles's hair. That's right. I mean, Miles's hair is today. Right. Remind me of my other nephew. It reminds you of the nephew. And then it also reminds us back to a time, though it's modern, coming up in our time in the 80s, in the late 80s, early 90s, where the high top fade was in. I'm sure they call it something else now, but excellent film. So we go through. So there's a villain in the film. There's a few villains. You're introduced to quite a few villains in the film. Three I can. Three. Well, whose names I know. Right. Because one villain is Liv Shriver, the other one is Lily Tomlin, and then darn it, I forgot the third villain. Then there's four, because one finds an untimely death within the middle of the beginning of the film. Okay. So we're not going to tell you much about the film. The third villain I remember, but I'm not going to tell because I don't want it to be a spoiler. That's right. Okay. You're going to be shocked at the film. The pacing of the film, excellent. The music, excellent. The use, just like Black Panther, there are dramatic moments in the film. This is a cartoon. This is an animated. You forget you're watching it. You forget that you're watching an animated piece, because the voice talent is so strong. Strong cast. And the creation of the sketches into live action are just so incredible. Actually, it's so well done. Certain areas it look real. Like, wait a minute, is that a real person getting into the cab? I mean, it just excellent animation. The use of New York as a background. Now, everyone knows that, most of the metropolises that are in these stories are always New York, but, most of the time they don't tell you. But this here, they really tell you that it's New York City, and they're really capturing who this is, how the city shapes who this young man is. It does. Right? Yeah. Now, we can't really tell you much about the film, because we want you to go out and see it. It is well worth it. It is definitely up there with Panther.
I would say so too.
Yeah,
I mean,
very,
it's a
very much
strong Marvel film.
It's a strong Marvel
real strong,
film.
better than some of the other like non-animated,
live action.
Yeah, live action films. Much better than some of the other ones. Like really,
yeah,
it's good.
I mean, it's well put together. It's something. The emotions and the storytelling is universal.
Yeah, it is.
And we won't tell you this, but we could just tell you that Stan Lee is well represented in this film.
Yeah, as he is in all of his
the films. But he
yeah.
gets.
It was touching.
Yeah, it's touching. He gets major time.
Yeah, he does.
More than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you will enjoy this film,
and the audience was happy to see him because did you hear their reaction?
Yeah, their reaction to it, and then the tribute. There's a tribute, and we have to tell you, stay to the end
after the credits.
After the credits roll, because there is something very important. Now, let's talk about. We talked about a little bit about the story. We can't give too much away. We got to leave it basic like this, because we told you way back in the summertime that this was coming when we saw the trailer. Yeah, because we was
excited.
And it is not. It does not disappoint.
Right.
The action from the point it's a little confusing because you see something happen at the beginning, and then all of a sudden the person reappears again, and you're like, what? And then the storytelling of how each spider comes into existence.
I do like how they did
world.
That you was able to get a little taste of the background of each.
Yeah, background of each.
Yeah.
Now, just stay to the end. Yeah. It's very important that you stay to the end. Okay, so we talked about script writing, excellent, pacing, excellent.
Right.
Twists and turns in the piece.
Right. Oh, the 3D. Oh, the twists and turns was amazing.
The big gloom.
Right.
This is definitely a hero's journey story.
Yeah.
Starting from him being just normal, then being introduced to a new world, introduced to the new group of people that will go along on this journey to defeat this obstacle. The fight sequences, and then the big gloom that happens, and then coming from out of it. There's a couple of big glooms in the piece, which is well put together, and it follows the tropes of the Spider-Man, to the T, with just slight changes to the story, but it's the same story, and that's what's so beautiful about the film.
What I love about it is, in most animated films, you get your story from beginning to end. But this is the first time I saw an animated film that gave you a twist, like in an actual movie, like a twist. So, like at one point, I remember saying to you, "Oh, this is so good. I'm forgetting that I'm watching animation." It's like watching an actual movie because you're so invested in the characters. And like I said, this twist will blow your mind, so it's worth seeing. And then it was a theater full of grown folks.
Yeah.
Late at night.
That's right.
And most theaters, I don't know if most, but like the theater out here serve, liquor. We have a bar, so people was drinking and having a good time and eating, and it was really good.
Just enjoying the introduction of the new African American or black tropes into the storyline of the spider. Right. There's an applause at the end of the film. The film is just that great.
And just like the film was diverse, the audience was diverse.
And I can tell you the dramatic, just like in Black Panther.
Hey, Tiara.
The dramatic acting.
Hi, Patrick.
The dramatic acting in the piece. Is just phenomenal.
It is.
You have to see. I mean, if you think that cartoons and animation is not for you because you're an adult, believe me, you will enjoy this picture.
Yeah.
You will enjoy this picture. Yes. Okay, so we've been through.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the adults who had on their Spider-Man attire.
Oh yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. When we came out, I thought I saw Eric Morales. I mean,
it looked like him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Live and live in color.
Yeah, he came out Spider-Man with his thing.
Yeah.
So And plus, you know, we went to the theater. We got some trading cards.
Oh yeah,
and then depending on what packages you buy, you may get the full.
Yeah.
You may get a top outfit. You may get all that, right?
Yeah.
So most definitely, you have to go see this film. It officially opened today. We saw one of the advanced screenings yesterday.
Right.
So we talked about the script, excellent.
Right.
The pacing, excellent.
Right.
The dramatic, excellent.
Music.
Action, excellent. The hero's journey.
Yep.
Theory and storyline, excellent. The music, New York City as a backdrop, as a living, breathing character within it, excellent. So we've been through it. So, what would you rate this?
Oh, that's easy.
The 3D.
Oh yeah.
The last thing.
Yeah.
The 3D. The 3D has advanced so much. I remember when you would put on the red and green glasses or red and blue glasses and nothing would come at you. And the only time that the red and green glasses really worked for me was during Friday the 13th part 3 when the hot poker came at you.
Yeah.
It came right at you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was incredible. But the way they do 3D now, it immerses you into the world and you see images that are close to you, that you know, so it's well done, well worth seeing in 3D. It is.
It's definitely an adult film. Like I said, it was a theater full of adults late at night just having a good time, and
the way that they do it, certain things will go over the children's heads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the kids don't.
The kids don't know, so you could take a kid, I guess you could take them down to 3.
So definitely go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, so what would you rate the film?
Definitely a 10, because again, like I said, you feel like you're watching the film. You forget that you're watching animation, because Marvel does such a great job, and it's up there with Panther. And leaving the theater, you're like, okay, I'm ready for part 2. When is Panther coming out? Ready for part 2 of Panther. Waiting to see part 2 of Spider-Verse starring Miles Morales. I'm like, we have a black Spider-Man.
Or we can go on and just have him tell his own story. Yeah. I think it's ready.
Yeah.
You know. So that's it on that. Now, people.
Right.
One of the originators of reality rap from out of the West Coast just dropped his new album.
You're being nice. One of the originators. He's like the legend, the king.
Oh, you want to say he's the king? He's of the
Ice
West Coast?
Cube.
He's the king of the West Coast.
Yeah, of just reality, like conscious.
He was always conscious.
I mean, because his lyrics is just like, I respect him as much as like Kendrick Lamar, because of the lyrics and the writing, and just the consciousness is there, along with the beats, heavy hitting beats.
Okay, so the name of the album is Everything's
Corrupt.
Yep. And it is. Bring the track listing up. Oh, you got it here. Okay, listen.
Of course, on Tidal.
That's right. We listen on Tidal.
The track listing is amazing.
That's right. Listen, from the opening.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a classic Ice Cube album.
Yeah.
Except for he gets to the point quicker. Like the skit, the opening skit to introduce you to the album is quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, people's attention spans today aren't like what they were before, where they can sit up and actually listen to a full, listen to a skit that might be a minute or 2 minutes. So he cuts it down. So the opening skit is cut down to about 32 seconds. Right. Then it goes into the first song, which is Arrest the President. That's right. Now, for those who don't know, that's a play on Impeach the President, which was a record that came out during Nixon's time. Impeach the President, and thus that drum beat is used as a break beat in the back of most of hip hop, along with James Brown breaks are mostly used in that. So Arrest the President, where Ice Cube is unflinching in what he talks about as far as 45 is concerned,
as well as just Everything, everything else.
And so let's go through the track list in here.
Chase Down the Bully.
That's right. That opens up. That's him and his wife and himself watching as the tiki torches are walking down the street. And he said, this is something like the Walking Dead or the zombies and shit. Yeah. And he says, let me get that right there. And then he rolls right into it. It's beautifully done.
It's hot, just like the Arrest the President one. Mm-hmm. Like, even though it's titled Arrest the President, and just like in Chase Down the Book, he's not focusing, he mentions, the president or whatever. It's mostly, he talks about what's going on today. And then just listening to it, you can relate to it. Anybody and everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, what age, what race, you can relate to what's going on. If you're conscious and you know what's going on and you see all of this craziness that's going on in the world that you're just dealing with, and whether it's work life or just every day in the store, in the gas station, your politics, just all the craziness that's going on with these crazy people.
Before we go on and going through more of the track list, I have a question. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a rhetorical question, but it's still a question. If people want to comment, they can come in and comment. My question is, let me preface it by saying, in the 90s, I thought we had this licked. Right. The music was coming out. People were enjoying hip-hop music. We thought that the music was bringing all of the races together. Yeah. Right? But instead, it seemed like all of a sudden now in 2018, they want to have the music, but they still don't want to have the people. Just like back in the day, they wanted the music, but they would have white images on the front of the covers. Right. It's like, still, you want the music, but you don't want the people who make the culture. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not that you're trying to be accepted, but we thought that the melting pot was finally being melted. So, where are the people who were influenced by hip-hop who are not black, who are non-black? Where are they speaking out on the issues? Did they get it, or do they just like listening to music, but like going back to their Lily life? Sometimes I feel like there's like a disconnect. They'll listen to the music and just like it just not register, and then they'll still go out with the tiki torches and still carry on their racist views and carry on racist actions. And I'm just trying to figure out what the issue is for them, because as far as they're concerned, they're winning. Their president is in office, the guy that they put in office. So what the hell are they complaining about? Like, what are they complaining about? They're just angry just to be damn angry. And so we are so elated that we have artists like Jay-Z, and now Ice Cube returning after 8 years. Yeah, with the conscious of what Jay-Z, Ice Cube, with T.I., Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. But I was talking about like the legends, the ones who. I know that's it. Scarface and we listen to him also. Oh, Willie D? Yeah. And so they're conscious music and stuff. So when I listen to just Ice Cube CD, like what I like about this CD also is like, of course, the lyrics, because I'm like a lyrical person and I love lyrics. So I'm just like listening to, the lyrics. That's what I like about like what Nicki Minaj's wordplay, like her lyrics, right? So I'm listening to his lyrics. But he's good at, just like Jay-Z, they're good at having like the music, great music to go with the lyrics. Every track on the new Ice Cube's Everything's Corrupt. Right. Every one of them can be a single. Yeah. Because it's just that good. It's 16 tracks of banging music. Okay, so what's the third track there? We're on the fourth one because we did the intro, which is Super OG. Second, Arrest the President. Third, Chase Down the Bully. Fourth, Don't Bring Me No Bag. That's right. So this is a if you know anything about NWA, with Ice Cube.
Right.
If you actually listen to Dope Man all the way through and not the first two verses, at the end of Dope Man gets his just comeuppance, and that's what made Ice Cube NWA so potent and post Ice Cube NWA. You know, I was listening to Cube on an interview, and he was talking about or speaking on how the powers that be tried to make it seem like hip hop was endorsing drug use, when really they were telling what was happening in the neighborhoods.
Right.
But it had forever been an anti-crack thing.
Right.
Crack is whack.
Right.
So when you see people, just my opinion, like Tipper Gore, or Dan Quayle standing up there calling out the rappers' names, and you realize that Bush Sr. was part of the CIA, and the CIA helped to bring the drugs in.
Oliver North.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, you helped to bring the drugs in. Then you realize that when they were on TV talking against the MCs like Tupac, they were afraid that they were going to end the ravages that crack was going to do, because they wanted to wipe out a community. And now
their evil, sinister plan.
Evil, sinister plan. And really, in a way, through hip hop music, it did slow it down, and the efforts of other organizations did slow it down. And then all of a sudden it flipped, and then the non-melanated people started using crack. Right. And now the non-melanated people are on methamphetamine.
And then all of a sudden now they want to come with programs, and they have sympathy for them, and whereas when crack was in the community, they wanted to
lock it up
and lock up the crack users and throw away the key. You know?
It's weird because, you know, people like KRS-One, if you listen to the first Criminal Minded album, he talk about the P is free. He's telling a story about what it is, but if you listen to what he does as the person within the story, he's actually an anti-drug figure within the story. When the young lady says that she'll do something if he buys her crack, he spins around on his BMX bike and locks her off and says, nope, and rides off, but he still says that the P is free, because the crack costs money.
Just like in Dope Man, had
just
a positive
like in Dope Man,
message.
at the end, it was like, and when you see, when you listen to NWA, they were telling about what happened, but post Cube, then it kind of changed, and it was more controlled, and then it started to get into talking about this. But even the hip hop today, they're really, when you sit up there and you listen to it, they're talking about it, and they talk about it in the first person, and sometimes in the third person about it, and then a lot of people will say right now, because they're not listening to the music, that the people are pro something, when in actuality you may listen to them and you may hear them crying out. It's more of a crying out type of thing within the music, So for those people who, because KRS-One talks about this, and we interviewed KRS-One for the Black Ice Chronicles. Franklin G interviewed him. I did the camera work on him, 2 camera work. You can see that up on LordlandFilms.com. LordlandFilms.com. What's going on, TC? So when you listen to that, he was in a we also filmed the lecture that he had, and he talked about how the older generations did not support hip-hop music. They thought it was noise. They never did it, and at the same time, some of these were the same people who pushed for Clinton to do the 3 strikes and to get more people put in prison. We can never forget that. We cannot forget that our older generations thought it was better to lockup instead of getting treatment and trying to push for more jobs.
The way they are doing today, like they're pushing for treatment for the white opioid users. They're pushing for treatments. We see the commercials on television, right? But when black people, when there was a crack epidemic, right? When there was a crack epidemic, they were just talking about locking them up,
Right.
And so it's just like the hypocrisy.
That's right. And we can go back. We can go back further, but we can talk about Reagan. Reagan not only stripped jobs from black males, and then he put black women into the workforce,
right?
And then so the roles reversed.
Right.
But later in tow,
right,
whatever happens to black people then happens to what's still the majority in this country, but the minority around the world.
Right.
It regularly happens to them. So not only did he release the crack into to try to wipe out a group of people, but he also took the jobs away, and he took the music from out of schools.
Right.
So instead of the older generations looking at it and blaming Reagan, hip hop wouldn't have been here, because we as a creative people find another way. And who would believe that you could take two turntables, put a sliding mechanism on them, and be able to cut and scratch? Thank you, Grandmaster Flash, Cool Herc, and all that from out the Bronx. And you could bring this into existence and save a whole generation of people where they were cutting jobs out. Now there are jobs not only in the music production, but the actual performance, the lawyers, doctors on the road, accountants. You see what I'm saying? So
roadies, everybody.
So coming from out of New York City, spreading over and coming all across and going up to the west, to the south, to the Midwest. This, and then now globally, this particular form of music helps a group of people, has assisted in a group of people becoming millionaires, billionaires, right? And it has provided job opportunities for people. So people have to look at it a little bit differently. And if you want to blame somebody for being in existence, blame Reagan for Reaganomics, and the faulty cheese that was there to kill you in 30 years. Like, blame him for that, but then applaud the ingenuity and the creative thought of black people to still overcome. It's always been something to try to keep us down, to put us down, to put us in the ground, to keep us down, to hold us down, but still we push through. Do you understand that? We push through. So applaud the ingenuity, and let's look at it again, and let's re-examine the history of what hip-hop is, and let's look at Ice Cube. What's the next
this
record?
is how good Ice Cube's album is.
It makes you go back and reassess.
And what's going on today, the fifth song, Bad Dope, is hot, of course. Sixth song is called On Them Pills. 7, Firewater. 8, Street Shed Tears. 9, Ain't Got No Haters, with him and Too Short. Yeah,
beautiful. Too Short comes in.
As always.
It's a classic record.
It is.
Classic.
Can You Dig It? That New Funkadelic.
Okay, no. Can You Dig It? Ice Cube takes you on a slightly different flow. He's flowing on this whole album. Like, he's holding it down.
Like in Firewater too.
The only feature he has is Too Short. Every for the 16 tracks, minus the one, he's holding it down and delivering on every track. Now, that New Funkadelic, that is like Parliament Funkadelic 2018. 22nd century funk. Okay, it is funky. If you liked Parliament in Funkadelic and Parliament in late 60s coming into the 70s, going into all of George Clinton has done. You will love this. Live instrumentation, music. I could tell that he worked with George again on this.
Yeah.
And take it from me, someone who actually got a chance to meet the third generation of Parliament, and some of them are fourth generation of Parliament, and were able was able to actually film a couple of quick 2-minute, when I edited it down, 2-minute documentary pieces introducing the third generation of Parliament.
We're first cousins. Yep. We're George's granddaughters.
Believe me, they are going to funk off into the future, you know what I'm saying, and we may see the mothership land again. And for those who don't know about the circle, the ring with the circle within a circle, you know what I'm saying, and know what's really happening, we may see the mothership land again. What else we got here?
Let's see. One for the Money, Still in the Kitchen, Non-Believers, Everything's Corrupt, Good Cop, Bad Cop. This whole album was just nice. Like, well, go ahead.
Good Cop, Bad Cop picks up from where Fuck the Police left off. This time it's a older Ice Cube, seasoned in the game, saying, hey, good cop, why don't you eliminate, why don't you turn them in, why don't you snitch, why don't you turn in the bad cops? You know what I mean? If you're a good cop, why don't you turn in the back? Why don't you turn in the bad ones, the bad eggs, so that we can have a balanced, a better society as far as policing is concerned. Go ahead.
You know what? He had a lot of really good songs on this album, and we said that.
So the album is great. Go ahead.
Yeah, the album is so good. I mean, it's just like, what did I say? Firewall. I mean, this album is like one of those albums that you can let roll all the way through, and it's just like, for instance, Street Shed Tears. I love the voice of the singer in that one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, that was another strong song, and again the lyrics. And then I love how not only is he talking about politics, I love his love for his wife and his kid, like his family and his community.
He tells those scallyhags they can't even, they wouldn't even be able to get on the mothership. All they want to do is just give it to him, but you know, they wouldn't even get on the mother. Anyone who has been married for any amount of time, like my wife and I, will be coming up on 29 years being together as a whole. And you know, and my belief standard is once you become together as one, you are married. So to me, you know, outside of the state situation where you have to have a marriage to put the rings on that represent the coming together of the male and the female, we've been together for 29 years, you know, married. You know, that's what I say. So anyway, you will appreciate this. So for those people, for those who say hip hop is nothing but, you know, what it is for this generation, maybe your ears have aged out, but there's hip hop out there, great hip hop for you to listen to and to still push through. So we're gonna get off here because let me tell you something. Every time, it's certain words that I think the Facebook bots have. Every time you say certain key words, they will block it for a while. We said marriage and they blocked the shit. Now, you know, I don't know if they're gonna block it this time because I'm saying it. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here though. But you've just been watching the 34th episode of the film review. That's right. We are the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D.
I'm Tracy.
And we are the film review. We review movies, music, culture, and whatever else comes to mind. And while we do that, we as husband and wife review movies, music, politics, culture, and the society within that. Or should I say, the culture within movies, music, politics, and society.
And again, go check out what Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse,
and definitely
Ice Cube.
That's right.
Everything's Corrupt. Definitely pick up his CD. It's excellent. The lyrics are tight. storytelling. You can visualize everything he's saying, you know, while you're listening to the music. And
look for us, because we haven't set a set time to come and deliver and to deliver this yet, because sometimes we see movies late and we're going to come right on and talk to you about it. So just be on the lookout for it, because we're building. You can check out the archives on SoundCloud, sound recording only, on soundcloud.com/the film review. And you can check us out on YouTube, the film review the film review channel on YouTube. Check us out there. And we're out until next time.
On our way to check out the next film right now.
That's right. So get ready. And I swear, if they give the Academy Award to A Star Is Born,
it's a fix.
The fix is in, okay? I'm just telling you, it's not as great as what they say. But go back and listen to it. We reviewed the film and we've talked about it. So go back and check that out. We got to get out of here, though. We appreciate and we love all of you who are watching. And keep it strong, because, you know, we're doing something, making sure that people are seeing, heard, recognized, and appreciated on the film review.
Goodbye.